go ahead and call the meeting to order at 2:35. Let's see, Mrs. Groom, could you please do a roll call?
Here.
Mr. Betts?
Here.
Ms. Barhu?
Here.
Chairman Bowler?
Here. Introduction of city staff. We have Miss Melissa Phillips, our development review technician, Mr. David Russell, our assistant city attorney, Mrs. Becky Groom, our board secretary, and our IT department, which is now hidden behind a wall, but we're pretty sure they're back there because we have all the lovely technology still going on. We will go ahead and do the minutes, and then we'll change the order after we do the minutes. So approval of the minutes. Does anyone have any comments or additions? The only thing I saw is that Mr. John George technically also said he would like to serve as chair, but I don't know if that's important, so. It's just but I didn't see anything else. Does anyone have any changes or a motion to approve?
I so motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Connors with the motion and Mr. Betts with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the minutes of January 18th, 2024 are approved. We're just going to do a little business before we get to the first agenda item. We have to elect a new chair, and the last time we didn't, the right people weren't present, so we said we would wait till this time to give everybody a little more time to think about it. So we're going to elect a new chair and vice chair, and then we'll kind of change seats, and then we'll get to case A. So the last time Mr. David Betts said he was interested in becoming the chair, and Mr. John George, via email through Missy, he could not be here today because he was sick. He was supposed to be here, but he is not here. But he said he is willing to be vice chair. So what do? We just do a motion for it, like usual? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So.
I motion that Mr. Betts takes the chair role and Mr. George takes the vice chair role.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
I second it.
Great. All in favor? Aye. Great. So we will do our chair change. You will get my chair. I think so. I asked before, and right, and I'll probably just move over one.
Not too much banging, okay?
I even won't give you
Restrict
like
yourself.
a warm chair. That's weird.
Appreciate your confidence in me.
Thank you.
People need to know who's who.
Oh my gosh, he's really getting official here.
He's becoming official.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, first item, we did the minutes, so new cases. Case A, BOA 2024-001. Would the clerk care to read the,
Request by Paul Culver Construction, Gerald and Deborah Cluley, and Thomas and Diane Rains for a variance from Article 4, Section 47H of the City of Daytona Beach Land Development Code to reduce the required minimum lot area for a duplex from 10,890 square feet to 9,500 square feet, and to reduce the required minimum lot depth for a duplex from 100 feet to 95 feet. This will allow the construction of a duplex on this vacant parcel. The property is located at 402 Harvey, parcel ID 530401160010.
thank you very much. Is there a representative of the applicant here, or the applicant, please come up and tell us what you'd like to do?
Good afternoon, my name's Richard Daniels. I'm with Paul Culver Construction, representing the Clues and Rains. We'd like to construct a duplex multi-residence project here on the property. We meet all the required setbacks, all the parking requirements, The only thing we don't meet, of course, is the area lot coverage and the width. I'm sorry, the depth. We feel that this new project would be harmonious within the community. It would fit right in with all the designs of residential areas or buildings in the area. So at this point in time, that we request the approval of the duplex from the board.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else here to speak on this matter, whether in opposition or for it? Or would you like to speak as owner? Let's have the owner speak first, please.
I guess there are two things I'd like to point out that we
Could you
bought.
please state your name and address?
Okay, I'm Gerald Cluley, originally from Colorado, in Westminster, Colorado. And we do own a home now on North Oleander. It was built in the 40s, and I'll be one of the duplex owners with my wife, and we want to get a newer home because the maintenance on the house is just getting too much for me. I don't enjoy it like I used to.
Right, so you'll be moving into this location?
Yes. And my brother-in-law and his wife have plans to retire here within 2 or 3 years at this point. And we've already bought the land and spent about over $15,000 in preparation for building because according to what Richard said from Paul Culver, we've met the setbacks and we really want to be able to locate in that area and continue indefinitely as owners of the duplex. Are there any other questions for me?
Any questions for the board for? No? Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else would like to speak on this matter? Yes, ma'am. Come on up. And state your name and address and how you feel.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jenny Nazak. I'm a neighbor at 501 Harvey Avenue. And a lot of these kinds of little variance requests and things are actually returning the character of the neighborhood back to its original character. I mean, our neighborhood used to be more of the urban density. So this has been an empty lot for a long time. And I was talking to my neighbors, like when people see those yellow signs up, people panic. And I said, well, hey, you guys, I'll check. I'll find out what it is. Find out it's a duplex. I was like, it's okay for me if it's a fourplex. But some of my neighbors were concerned about this and that. But when they heard, when I said duplex or fourplex, they were like, oh yeah, that would be good. So very much in favor. We can't revitalize our neighborhood unless we add some more residential density. And we honestly, that lot's been empty for too long. So thank you. Now I'm just trying to save the fourplex across the street from it, but that's another issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in. Would anybody else here to speak on this issue? Okay, we'll close that part. Any questions or from the board or the applicants or discussion?
I didn't really, I just, driving around the neighborhood, it really seemed like, exactly as you said, this was like the nature of the neighborhood. And I had a hard time finding that minimum lot depth anywhere. I felt so. I do think it fits the neighborhood. And thank you for making such a nice description to the applicant. You really explained a lot in your application. I appreciated that. It answered a lot of my questions.
Any other questions or discussion? If not, is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve Case A.
I second it.
It's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Oh, wait. Clerk call the roll.
Mr. Connors?
Yes.
Ms. Barhu?
Yes.
Ms. Bowler?
Yes.
Chairman Betts?
Yes. Motion passed. Thank you. Good luck with
Thank
your
you.
project. And all your help with the neighborhood.
Thank you. Good
Yep.
luck to you.
You're welcome.
All right, moving on. Case B, BOA 2024-002. Clerk, kindly read the request.
Request by Zahn Engineering on behalf of N&N Consulting, Amos Ivy, and Oliver Ross for a variance from Article 4, Section 47U of the City of Daytona Beach Land Development Code to increase the maximum front yard setback for a multifamily residential structure from 25 feet to 149 feet. This variance will allow a 3-story, 24-unit multifamily structure to be constructed on the space and vacant parcel with an increased maximum front setback. Property is located at 112 South Martin Luther King Boulevard, parcel ID 5339-7601-0060.
Thank you very much. Could we please have the applicant or and the representative up?
John Zumbo, Zahn Engineering, 150 South Palmetto Ave, Suite 201, representing the owner. And I would like to thank staff for their report and efforts getting us this far. Thank you guys for being here. I would like to provide some supplemental information for consideration with respect to the variance review standards. In working with Dennis Morozic, I was made aware that this is considered a through lot and not just a regular lot with regular frontage. So it has to meet the requirements of section 11.4A 8B II, which states through lot. On a through lot, the front yard setback shall be measured and the minimum front yard setback required shall be applied from both of the parallel or nearly parallel street fronting lot lines. So our lot is 340 feet deep and half of it's 75 feet wide and the other half is 125 feet wide. So this is a zoning district that allows 40 units per acre. We're at like, I don't know what the exact count is, but we've got 24 units on 3 acres, so it's a lesser density than it's called for. It is a keyway lot, and it would be a really long, slender building to meet both of the setbacks. So I just wanted to add that addition to consideration, and I'm available if you guys have questions.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have, how many units are going to be there, 24?
24.
And you have a parking lot set for 8 spaces or 6 spaces?
Correct.
Where is the rest of the parking going to happen?
Well, it's intended to be student-based housing, and it's just off campus.
Okay,
Zoning allows this to have no parking at all, considering it's within the limits of the street side parking provided.
Wow.
So we're within those limits. We felt like we needed to provide some parking and especially a handicap spot. We were also in discussion to buy or partner with the lot to the south of us, which hasn't come to fruition, but it's our understanding that there's a parking lot going in there that we're gonna try to negotiate.
So,
But that aspect of the design meets the development criteria, and we feel as if it won't be a problem considering it's gonna be primarily students on campus.
so
Yeah.
is that basically who you're gonna allow to apply for the housing, is students only?
We're not gonna reject applications at this point. But the design and the vibrancy of it is going to be geared towards attracting the student population.
Yeah, that's interesting. I had the same question with the parking. But in my mind, if you didn't provide that parking and meet the setback, there would be nothing. So, and there is on-street parking in that neighborhood, but that's interesting that like parking's not required.
But the neighborhood gets busy with
Yeah.
parking. It's hard to find parking
Yeah.
in that neighborhood.
It's
especially
interesting,
during certain
yeah.
events.
Just having been on the other side of things, trying to get something approved and not being able to meet the
Yeah.
parking because the
Yeah,
parking.
it's hard to find parking.
And that's crazy, but, I'm glad you're meeting it, and so I think this is a a good compromise solution. You know, you're providing parking, and I thought actually it was a mistake and I read it wrong because nobody's ever come here and asked for a greater setback since I've been here.
It would just make a really long, awkward building.
Yeah,
So.
I think this is a really nice addition to the neighborhood. So, and I felt like the way it's laid out would almost make it like safer when I went and looked at it. So, just in my opinion. So,
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
So are you dedicating at least one unit for handicapped accessible?
We've got
terms
two handicap
2 units?
accessible units, yeah. And they're the
Okay.
units closest to the handicap parking space.
Okay.
And those would be designated as handicap parking, 2 of them?
We only have one handicap space.
One parking, but 2 units.
Yeah.
But 2 units, yeah.
Oh, 2 units, we still have 2 parking.
Is the,
Well, I guess.
will the parking lot be key access, or will it be open?
It'll be opened. It's not intended to be key access at this time. But it is gonna be set back behind a dry retention pond, and we feel like it'll deter people from just randomly parking there.
Well, the parking requirements met, so,
Yeah, that area of MLK, just south of ISB and between Loomis and a section of Loomis, it doesn't require parking at all.
Wow.
Going to be a lot of cars on the streets if it's not students walking.
Gonna be a lot of cars on the street.
okay, anybody else for the applicant wish to speak? Anybody other than the applicant wish to speak? Come on up. We love hearing from you.
I know.
I'm Jenny Nazak, and I am a great fan and tourist of Midtown and hang out there a lot. And it's the same kind of character as where I live over on the beach side. The traditional neighborhood has small setbacks and is designed to be versatile so a person doesn't have to have a car. Now, you know, I realize a lot of people do have cars, but there's a lot of opportunity for if there's apartments near in a convenient area like that, some people, including senior citizens like myself, are going to choose to not have to deal with a car. Like, I don't even own a car, nor do I want one. And a lot of my friends who are older like me but still working don't have cars. And the supply of apartments is short. So in the event, I'm sure they'll be filled up with students very quickly, but if they're not, I have a feeling there'll be plenty of other applicants as well. And I think it'll be a huge thing. And I think a lot of places now, a lot of cities, there's a lot of parking sharing going on. There's so many possible solutions. So it's actually very exciting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, without that, any questions or comments from the board members?
No, if it's legal to park on the street, it's legal to park on the street. You can't stop it for that. I'm just suggesting there's going to be a lot of cars. If
Yeah.
it's not, even if it's
will
filled up
be.
with students,
Right.
there'll be a lot of cars
Yeah,
dumping on
I
the
agree.
streets.
We'll take one more.
Sorry. So another thing I just found out that I kind of knew, but I just confirmed, is parking, like if the street is visually more narrow because people are walking down the street, it can actually help slow down the traffic. It's almost like having a free speed bump.
Yes, it does.
That's a good point. There is a lot of parking on that street, at least on the one side, and nobody was in any of it. Like, I basically, like, when I went to the property, I pulled over to get, like, to the side so I could, like, sit there and look at it and take some pictures, and I basically used the parking lane as another lane so I wouldn't, like, impede the flow of traffic, and there was not one spot in any of that huge, like, street parking, so I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I agree with you, but, like, I feel like,
It's a name.
you know,
Yeah.
it's
And-
better to have something beautiful there.
And there are some engineering options for them. If they want to add parking, they can train some of their detention basin into a underground holding area and pave over the top of it, so.
And Mr. Chair, if I may, just given the level of discussion of the concerns regarding the parking. You know, it's not an issue that would be a basis to deny
Right.
the application. Just wanted to make that.
Right.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
That's what I was trying to say, I just didn't say it right.
Right. That's fine.
Is this under the affordable housing? Or no? No? Okay.
Okay, so any more discussion or motion?
I'll motion that we pass case B.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Will Ms. Groom please call the roll?
Barhu,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Mr. Connors,
Yes.
Chairman Beck.
Yes.
4-0.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Our last case for the day is case C, BOA 2024-003. Ms. Groom?
A request by Hamid Reza Ray Tunchian for a variance from Article 4, Section 42C of the City of Daytona Beach Land Development Code to reduce the required minimum street side yard setback for a single-family residential structure from 15 feet to 7.5 feet. This variance will allow a single-family structure to be constructed on this vacant parcel with a reduced street side yard setback. The property is located on Illinois Street, parcel ID 523838001120.
Thank you very much. And the applicant's already up.
Yes.
State your name and address, please.
My name is Hamid Reza Tutunchian. I own the lot there, and before I bought it, I really didn't know how small of a house barely would fit on it, like 27.5 feet wide. So I worked with an architect, and he said there's really nothing you can build there. So that's why I'm asking for a variance to shorten that side street setback, so I can put a little bit wider house on the lot.
Okay.
It's very tiny, tiny lot and a tiny house that fits on it. If I can get the variance approved, you know.
So that whole open area, it's actually only half of that.
Yes,
Right,
correct.
okay, because when you drive there, it kind of looks like it's
Yeah,
a
there's-
huge lot, but it's actually only half of that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of empty lots next to it. But, yeah.
How big of a house are you building? How many square foot?
The biggest that it fits is only 50 by, I have it right here. The square footage is 1,741 square feet total.
1,700, okay.
41. Yeah.
And you're still meeting the 7.5 feet, if it wasn't a street, like you're still meeting,
Correct.
would be a side yard.
Right.
setback.
Yes. In this,
Bedrooms, are you looking at?
this is a two-bedroom home. Yeah. You can't, with the side lot, with the corner lots, you know, because you have two big setbacks, that's why it's almost impossible to build anything on these
Right.
corner lots.
Right.
Yeah, when
The next one.
when this was platted, they didn't leave that as a bigger lot like they do now.
Right.
Okay,
Indiana, Illinois.
thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Anybody else wish to make a statement today?
3 for 3.
Hey, she might as well make use of the time.
Jenny Nazak, 501 Harvey. This is a great thing. It's good to have some flexibility and good to have a house being built. So, yeah.
Thank you again.
Thanks.
All right, any other questions from the board?
Yeah.
Yes.
The lot that we're looking at is the full lot, or it's half of that lot that we're looking?
Well, when you go there, you know, it looks like a big square, and then you
Right.
see the neighbor, and you're like, you could fit it different, but it's only half of that vacant.
Area,
You know.
there's two lots in that area.
They're sit back to back,
Okay.
Very
Yeah.
Side by
slim.
side,
side
yeah.
by side, because it's on that corner.
I understand.
Yeah.
And the neighbor, I mean, I assume by your neighbors not being here, they're fine with it, you know, because your neighbor across the street has the same setup as you are asking for. and the neighbor behind you, you'd kind of be blocking his view, but by the fact that they're not here, I assume, you know, they're, yeah, yeah, okay.
Okay,
Mr. Connor, if you look at page 5, you can see where the aerial view shows the two lots side by side, and
okay.
then the separation of the parcels with the outline.
Yeah, I understand it now. I gotcha. I wasn't looking that way.
okay. If there's no more discussion, we'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve case C.
I second it.
Been a motion and a second for approval. Ms. Groom?
Mr. Connors,
Yes.
Barhu,
Yes.
Bowler,
Yes.
Chairman Beck.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Good luck on your
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care.
house.
Good luck.
Okay, so could we have a review of the cases?
All three cases, case A, B, and C, all passed 4-0.
Okay, do we come to new business? And you have any other new business today?
No. But when I was out there at this one we just reviewed, you know, we had approved 2 other ones, and like one of them was getting built, and I thought it looked very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these were so basic, you know, and then I drove past something else today, and they had leveled like an entire thing to make like a parking lot, and there was no tree anywhere, and I was like, this is like so, I don't know.
Better, yeah.
Anyway, so
Okay,
happy race weekend, everyone.
motion for
There's the
adjournment?
traffic out there.
Yeah.
Did you find some?
Yes, on my way here.
Nice work on the first meeting.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, you did good.
like riding a bike.
Oh, okay, jump right
You
on.
want me to email my sheet to you?
Did formally.
I'll just keep this.
Well, then you have to resend. I just print a new one out each time.
Oh, do you? I'll just reuse this. Thank you. Motion to
I move.
adjourn.
Adjourn.
I second it.
Thanks for all your positive
Okay,
comments. Like,
all in favor?
Thank you.